Hey everyone, I'm Joe Ferzoco.
And I'm Chris Ferzoco. And today we're going to be looking at market statistics. We're going to take a look at March of 2025 versus February of 2025. And we want to take a look at all properties. So we're just talking about here now anything that was on the multiple listings. So we're going to look at either commercial, vacant properties, multifamilies, beachfronts, efficiencies, etc. So if it was on the multiple listings, statistically, we're going to be counting that in this video.
Okay.
And we're going to take a look at, like I said, Joe, we're going to look at March versus February. We want to look at the overall value of properties. We're going to look at the number of properties that sold, the number of properties that came on the market, and we're going to look at sale price versus list price.
Fantastic. Hey, and folks, if you like what you hear and like what you see, please subscribe below, tap that bell for notifications, and please hit the like button so you will be the first to get the most up-to-date market information, trends, happenings down here at the Jersey Shore. Seasons are starting to change, so we do have a lot of things starting to happen. Storefronts starting to open up down here at the Jersey Shore. Not that Jersey Shore, our Jersey Shore. Ventnor, Margate, Longport, Ocean City, Summers Point, Strathmere, Sea Isle, Stone Harbor, Avalon, North Wildwood, Wildwood Crest, West Wildwood, Cape May, North Cape May, Cape May Courthouse, and Upper Township. Bam!
Bam.
Nailed that one. That time.
Much
Took me
that time.
5 seconds to
There you
do
go.
that.
All right.
So, Chris, all right, we're going to start with Ocean City for
Yeah.
March versus February. Get us going.
That we're going to, Joe, and we're heading right into spring. And there's not a lot of spring in these numbers, I hate to say.
Yeah.
So when you look at Ocean City, overall value down virtually 49%. So you got to drop from $2 million down to just over $1 million in overall values. And there's a lot of factors involved there. As we know, there's some big properties that could sell that drive the price up. And so if you don't have that counterbalance with some lower properties, then naturally values get all over the place. But that's a pretty significant drop that we're going to look at here. So March versus February went from $2 million down to $1 million. And the overall value. That's the number of properties that sold, 27% decrease. So we had 33 properties sell in February. We only had 24 sell in the month of March. And as for the number of properties that came on the market, we actually did see an increase, which is a positive sign. We had a 39% increase in the number of homes that came up for sale in Ocean City. Went from about 104, Joe, to about 145 in the month of March. So that's a good sign there to see that many properties coming up for sale.
Yep.
The overall sale price versus list price also jumped up. It actually went from 94 to 96.5%. So that's a positive sign there too. So when you just kind of start looking at those numbers there, you just want to start paying attention to, okay, what's selling, how many came on, how many sold, are we building inventory? As of this video right now, there's only about 250 plus properties in Ocean City, so we're not really building on inventory yet.
Right.
But is that something that could start to happen? When you got jumped down into Sea Isle City, you actually had a drop also in overall value, just a slight one, 1.4%, dropped actually from about 1.4 million to just around 1.38. So just a real minor drop in overall value. Now, as for the number of properties that sold, huge drop, went from 13 down to 3, which equates to 77%. So we actually had a significant drop in the number of properties that sold in the month of March for Sea Isle. A little shocked there was only 3, quite honestly. Then you look at the number of properties that came on the market, we had a 21% drop in Sea Isle City. Went from 19 down to 15. The overall sale price to list price was the exact same at 97%. Okay. But Joe, what's interesting there is in Sea Isle, it's one of the only towns that had minuses, negatives, drops, whatever, down arrows across the board in all 3 categories of sale, overall value, sales, and number of homes that came on the market.
Interesting. So certainly you have to keep an eye on that kind of stuff there. So
That's
let's jump down into the Wildwoods, Chris. So let's go into, we're doing March compared to February. So North Wildwood, your average sale price was down 13%. In March, so it was 583,000. Number of properties that sold, that was up 43%. So we had 21 transactions in the month of March. And then the number of properties that came onto the market, that was down 21%. So we only had 31 come onto the market compared to February. So again, we had 21 transactions, 31 come on. There is a little bit of difference there with regards to the number of properties that come off the market, the number of properties that come on. So we'll kind of see where that goes. Your average list price to sale price. We've touched on this a little bit with some of these other videos so far. We're not really seeing any more except for, Summers Point was one. Of course, North Cape May is going to be this month too, but everything is like 95, 97, 98. It's not that consistent every town. 99, 99, 99, 101, 100. Like we don't really see that anymore in both the quarters, monthly, and semi-annual, so we'll keep an eye on that. Right. Going into Wildwood, your average sale price was down 25%. It was $474,000. Number of properties that sold, it was the same as the month before. There was only 14. Number of properties that came on the market was the same. There was only 31, so that was the same there. And then your list price to sale price was 96%. So we'll kind of watch all that there
Yep.
as well. Moving into Wildwood Crest, your average sale price was down 32%. 518,000 was your average sale price for the month of March. Number of properties that sold, we had 15, which was a 60% increase. So it just shows you how the lack of transactions that we had in the month of February.
sure.
So 15 came on. Number of properties that came on the market was 21, which was pretty identical to the month of February. And then we're looking at your list price to sale price was down around 94%, excuse me, as opposed to 97% in February. But it's significantly there. Not only did you drop 3% from a standpoint of list price to sale price, but folks, remember, your average sale price also dropped 32%. So that dropped 32%, and then you got 3% less than what you did for February. Again, these are going to be all things that we're going to be watching, Chris, as we start to progress through this, in this year, this first half of the year. Let's go into Sea Point Village, Diamond Beach area. Your average sale price was down 38%. 776,000 was your average sale price in March. We had only had two transactions. We had 4 come on the market, which was a 50% increase. And your list price to sale price was sitting right around 95%. And then finally, one of the short towns in Cape May, one of the few that actually had an increase. It was a 12% increase up to 1.54 million for the month of March, which is fantastic. Number of transactions that was down, it was down 37%. We only had 5 transactions. The number of properties listed, that was up by 73%. There was 11 that came on the market. So again, month of February kind of seemed to be this not too much going on there when it came to the number of properties coming onto the market. So kind of touching on there, and of course your average list price to sale price was right around 96%.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I think in February is a tough month when you look at, weather-wise, so I think that maybe contributed
We'll
to
see
that.
what happens there.
Didn't have a lot of people coming down, but we'll see what happens. Still had sales going on. I mean, when you take a look at Upper Township, and the values there actually dropped fairly significantly. It was about 40% drop in Upper Township. When you look at that, down to 703,000, so that had a nice drop there. And when you look at the number of properties that sold in Upper Township, we actually had a 72% increase. Upper Township, we had 3 in the month of February, had 11 in the month of March. So that could be spring indicative, who knows? But right now, we see a nice jump in the number of homes that sold. As for them that came on the market, huge. We had 93% jump. We went from up to 27 from 14 in Upper Township. So Upper Township's seen a lot of movement, a lot of homes coming up for sale. I will qualify this by saying there is also a lot of new developments going up in Upper Township also. There's multiple new developments going up. So naturally, as those homes hit the market, that's going to cause that number to increase.
Sure.
The overall sale price, though, the list price dropped significantly, right? From 95 down to 91%. So that's a pretty significant drop there, so something to monitor. As for Summers Point actually had a 1.6% drop in value, went 474 down to 466. The number of properties that sold, virtually the same. You had 9 in February, 10 in March. And for the number of properties that came on the market, it was virtually the same. You had 28 in February, 27 in March. So very consistent when you look at Summers Point. Really from the standpoint, too, Joe, they got 100% of the sale price versus list price in both February and March. So Summers Point, March versus February, very consistent.
Yeah, very consistent.
Virtually the same.
I was going to say, I mean, when you're looking at like a $8,000 difference in your average sale price, too, and then to just nail those 100% list price to sale price every single month. That's consistency that we haven't seen before. All right, so let's stick into the last 2 in North Cape May. So your average sale price in North Cape May for the month of March, that was down 12%. 521,000 was your average sale price in March, as opposed to 590 in February. Was really topping out there in North Cape May. We've seen a couple big numbers there, 700,000. But right now for March, it was 521,000. Number of properties that closed, we had an 85% increase. So we had 13 total transactions. We only had 2 in February. Again, that massive percentage, headliner, clickbait, 85% increase. Well, yeah, it went from 2 to 13 because you only had 2 deals, all total in North Cape May and February, which is kind of odd. Number of properties that listed, that was down 19%. We only had 13 come on the market in February. List price to sale price was sitting right around 96%. This is where we kind of start to, again, look at that. It was 96%. In February, it was 101. But you started at 590. So, I'd rather start at 590 and get 101 than 96% and do that. So, Cape May Courthouse, your average sale price was down 31%. 337,000 was your average sale price in the month of March in Courthouse. Number of transactions was up 33%. We had 12 And then the number of properties that were listed for sale, Chris, that was also up as well. We had 25 properties come onto the market in the month of March in Cape May Courthouse.
Right.
List price to sale price was pretty much the same, sitting right around 92, 93% for both months.
So primary home market in the low 90s.
With the low 90s like that. So again, as we said when I kind of started moving down and we started with the Wildwoods, was a lot of down. I mean, that's 9 towns that we cover in the lower half of Cape May Courthouse, and Cape May was the only town in the month of March that saw an increase in their average sale price. And everything else was, no slouch. I mean, it was not like it was like 3%, 12%. I mean, everything was 13, 25, 32, 38, 31. So that's a big percentage when it comes to dollars. What you're looking at there. So we'll keep an eye on that, and we'll start comparing. We always do the month to the previous month, and we'll start comparing like the month to the previous year and see how that kind of starts to work out as we go in the second quarter. Yeah,
it's going to be interesting to see. I mean, there's been a lot of up over the years, and now all of a sudden there's been a little consistency on the downs, and it's just going to be a matter of watching the market to see, okay, is this becoming a trend? Is this becoming something that's consistent, or was it one-offs? Was it the month? Was it the time of year?
Yeah.
What was it? But the key factor to all this is, folks, is that there's a lot of chatter out there with regards to the economy, interest rates, real estate market, etc. Our market is different than your primary home market. It is not the same. So that means that you should be reaching out to Joe and I as professional real estate agents. We can be your real estate resource here at the Shore to get the information about knowing what's going on here, whether you're a buyer or a seller, what's going on in our market here. And so we can guide you correctly on what to do to make sure that you're going to capitalize in getting the most amount of money for your home should you be considering selling. Or if you are considering buying, making sure that you're going to get the best deal possible for you and not putting yourself in a position of losing money in the long term, making sure that this property is going to be right for you, for your family, or the right investment opportunity as well. And we can do that. We have combined over 45 years of experience here. And, so we have that. And we also have, not, as Joe mentioned, one of our other views, not just him and I, but we have a great team to support us as well that works with us to make sure our clients are being taken care of and having the best opportunity and the best experience.
Yep, 100%, Chris. So anytime you want to reach out to the Ferzoco Group, give us a call, shoot us a text, email, visit our website, visit us on all of our social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, on this video's here, LinkedIn. We're out there on all of them just with regards to the Ferzoco Group. It's not just about what's happening in your towns. It's also your specific type of property or the specific type of property you're looking to purchase. So we can certainly do a deep dive on the criteria of the specific property you want, or a deep dive in your market analysis and in your market evaluation of your specific property if you are in fact looking to sell your property. So that'll wrap up this video here, March versus February. He's Chris, I'm Joe. Till next time, we'll see you at the beach.